Hi guys, it's Rae. Welcome back to my channel. In having a conversation in the comments with somebody, I got it in my head that I wanted to know what one of the cheat glitters would look like using the tack it method, specifically Touch of Rose. So we're going to go ahead and do that on this little wine tumbler. I figure, oh, that'll waste the least product, right? So I'm going to open up my tack it. I am down to very little mixed, but it should be enough to do this. So you probably know the routine by now. I'm going to put 2 coats on, letting it dry in between for 10 to 15 minutes. And then I will apply the glitter. So I just use a soft brush. I don't have a Mod Podge brush that I use for this or anything. I do try to remember to wash my brush right away, but it doesn't always happen. This is just a cheapy Dollar Tree brush. So if it doesn't get washed, it's really not the end of the world. But just a thin, even coat. That's why you'll see me spreading it, because I don't need more than what's already here on the cup, really. So there'll be no white left on the coat when it is dry, and that's when I'll know it's ready for the next coat. So I will be back once the second coat is dry. Okay, I am ready to see if this does anything as a cheat. Who knows? So I'm going to get it fully covered. I have the big pour side open. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Let's see, I know there's other color in there, but I feel like on the black, you mostly see the rose. I can see a tiny bit of the green here and there, but not like a ton. So I'm going to make sure I get good coverage on the bottom as well. And I'm going to knock off the excess, set this aside 1 second, and clean this up, because obviously I'm not wasting all of that. I feel like on here I see more blue than green even. Alright, and I'm going to get to varnishing. I'm going to use a gloved hand. I don't like to use my bare hands on my glitters. And so it does have a rose hue to it. It's not super spectacular. And I can see a spot where I had my tack it a little bit thick yet around the rim. That happens sometimes. But I do feel like it is pulling mostly the rose head on, but if I look down the side, that's when I'm getting more of the other colors. These wine cups have like a really deep groove in the cap. So they're not necessarily the absolute best for tackets. And I am working this right off my football. So it is pretty. It's just not, I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I feel like it's kind of meh. But I wanted to experiment just to see what would happen. And I can't tell how much of this color is just it picking up reflection from other color. But if I put my gloved hand in front of there, it is still changing color. So I don't know if you can see that down the side. But that is what one of the cheats looks like as a tack it method over black. Okay, so I want to see how this looks under resin, so I'm going to go ahead and get it coated. See if it brings it back to life a bit. I just didn't like it as much as I thought it would, but you know, resin always brings back the shine on things. So yep, much better with the coat of epoxy over it. But I think it's still going to be kind of blah for my liking. So I was thinking about sprinkling a little bit of chunky over the bottom. I wanted to see how it looked under the resin before I picked what I was going to use. So I'm going to let this spin a minute while I pick. It really is pretty now, but it's got more gold and green and reddish undertones. Overtones. I don't freaking know what I'm trying to say. I had originally thought about using that rose gold mix I'd made for the succulent tumbler, but I don't think that's going to work at all now that I'm looking at this. I think I'm going to pick one of my Christmas chunkies. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to this in a minute because I've got a whole cup of resin mixed up that I need to get on some other tumblers. So I will be back to add to this in a couple of minutes. Okay, so I think I've got it, maybe. Grab a piece of paper, slip it under. I have this color called Ginger Snaps, which I think will look cute on here. I don't know. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in my hand. Whoops. Dump some on the cup while I'm at it. Why not? And I'm just going to hand sprinkle on the bottom here, because I don't want a ton. And I got a little piece of the baggie right there. That happens sometimes. It's the little plastic closure. I'm gonna toss a little bit at the bottom. This is great. It like blends in, but not completely disappears. So pretty much exactly what I was hoping for. And I'm just going to come high and give it a little sprinkle. Come back to the bottom with a little bit more. I think I'm going to find a, you know, Christmas movie watching a wine glass type saying if I can. I know there's all kinds of tumbler ones and blanket ones and t-shirt ones. So I'm hoping there's a wine one. Or I'll just make my own, you know, wine and Hallmark or something. I just dumped more than I wanted there, so I'm just going to kind of spread the top. More than I wanted. I mean, there really wasn't more than I wanted on this, but because I didn't really have a plan. But hopefully it'll all lay down and behave. Hopefully there's none right on that lip. So I will be back for the decal step once I find what I'm looking for. Okay, so I am ready to get my decal on here. And I ended up going with this one. It just says running on wine and Christmas cheer. So let's see if I can get this on here somewhat straight. There we go. So I'm going to let this sit a minute and get some resin mixed up and get it on there. I'll be back. Okay, I'm ready to get a coat of epoxy on this. So here we go. It's a little chilly in my room. I didn't start my heater early enough. I mean, I did because I started it when I woke up, but so this is bubbly. I'll have to hit it with the torch. I got up much earlier than intended today. So I'm just gonna get this smoothed on here nicely. And it feels pretty good at this point. So if I don't feel my decal much when it's dry, I will call this done. If I can still feel the decal, I'll end up putting one more clear coat on it, but pretty comfortable with it at this point. So I will get you a close-up on this in a bit. Okay, so I'm bringing you in for a close-up of this, but I had this sitting upside down on the table just for its final cure. I like to sit them on their bottoms to finish curing, but look at this color shift down the side on this chunky and on the touch of rose as well. It is crazy beautiful. So this is it completed. Super cute little Christmas wine tumbler. Absolutely love it. I think it is stunning. So I've got to clean it up obviously, but it is smooth and just adorable. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed it, and that's how it looks as a tacket. Definitely pulls green. So there we go.